We showed in the previous video that the services offered by the bootcamp he attended cost a total of $50,000 to secure a job with a large company. What we mean is that, for any bootcamp, students will find employment tailored to the services they subscribe to and the total amount of money contributed to the bootcamp's accounts. If a student only pays the initial $15,000 course fee, they will only be able to find jobs paying $50,000 a year or even less, possibly part-time positions with low responsibilities. If the student pays for additional services, they will find better jobs because these services include fabrications in their profiles and resumes. However, the more they pay and the more expensive the service, the more that money is used to make these lies believable, such as including a degree from a university that doesn't exist in a country like India and jobs at a company that doesn't exist in a country like Morocco. When these candidates undergo background checks, everything is approved, and the State Department grants the required visa, despite laws prohibiting the hiring of individuals who lie on federal documents to the US government. We remind you that in many cases, even if the company is private, some include clauses in the employment contract stating that lying about technical background, education, and work experience is a federal crime, regardless of whether the position is within or outside the United States. What's astonishing is how many people do this every day and sign contracts even though these clauses are in their contracts. Why? As we mentioned, this 4-month course is truly worthless, and the preparation these unsuspecting students receive after paying such a large sum of money is practically non-existent. They could have obtained the same level of preparation for free by accessing Udemy or Coursera. However, generating resumes for each student, precisely matching the exact qualifications of each company, is far more criminal. This service is completely pre-scripted. All they do is swap one candidate's name with another's. They then instruct each candidate on what to include in their LinkedIn profiles, create user accounts on job search platforms, and complete the entire application process using the keywords that each company's AI is searching for. Since a regular candidate doesn't know what questions the AI is asking or what it's looking for, they are much more likely to be rejected, even if they exceptionally meet all the requirements for the position. Let's look at the following example for a front-end position. Knowledge of technologies like React, Angular, JavaScript, or TypeScript is very likely required. However, even though the job description doesn't explicitly mention Java, Python, or Haskell, artificial intelligence might be looking for the repetition of those words, both in the resume and in the application the candidate has created. This makes it very easy for bootcamps to place their students above any real engineer who doesn't pay for these services. In other words, all recruitment processes have hidden terms and secret codes known only to bootcamp agents. This way, they ensure their candidates are the only ones considered. Once the process begins, the candidate is given exercises for personal practice that perfectly match the questions they will be asked in each interview. Candidates are told what to answer and how to answer it, what code to run and how to write it, regardless of whether they actually know how to run it or why they're doing so. Once candidates complete all the interviews, recordings of each interview are made, barely justifying the hiring. Each recruiter submits a report to the hiring committee, and if the committee wants to audit the process, it can verify that at least the minimum requirements for the position are met. However, the hiring committee almost never questions the recruiter's report, so the only thing they scrutinize is how many other people were invited to the same process and rejected. This is why it's so important to continue with the statistics we discussed in the previous video. For every bootcamp student admitted, they must find at least 100 perfectly qualified candidates whom they reject despite their flawless interviews. We invite you to like our video, subscribe to stay updated on new videos, and share this video so more engineers understand why they remain unemployed today.